Let us go. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have the American Zurich player representing Apprentice Esports, currently tied up 1-1 with his opponent. It is Ukko. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have his opponents. We have the Canadian Terran player representing himself. It is MaSa. Okay, so to put things into context, again, Eric and Ryu are waiting in the lower qualifying matches, and the winner of this series that we're casting right now is going to qualify for the main event for ESL Masters America. They qualify. The loser is going to be going up against Ryu, if I'm not mistaken. If I've done the math correctly, the loser of this series plays against Ryu in a different qualifying match. So we will follow this series to its completion, and we will follow the loser into Ryu as well. Whether that's MaSa or Ukko, we're about to find out. Now we're jumping in mid-series, game number 3. We are tied up. This is a best of 5, so we still have at least 2 more games to go, and I am ready. My body is excited. I mean, what? Aye, aye, aye. As Ukko is going for a hatch gas pool, standard opener so far here from our American Zurich player. Meanwhile, MaSa is a player that we haven't been able to see too much of. He, in the heyday, he was one of the best foreigners out there. He is, of course, a Canadian Terran, and yeah, has quite a long history, a legacy behind him, especially in the era of Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm. Was considered one of the best out there in the land of the Americas. But he has been taking a bit of a step back. During the COVID era of StarCraft, MaSa did return to play after retiring for a long time, but he hasn't been full-time. He's been just, you know, lightly playing here and there, lightly practicing, focusing on his studies, focusing on his IRL commitments. You haven't seen too much. Oh my god! As we're getting into this game, and MaSa is going for a 3cc 2-1-1. There you go. MaSa has been watching the GSL. He has, or he has been watching IM Academy. So, oh, it's not a 2-1-1. Oh, it's not a 3cc 2-1-1. It's a 3cc 3 racks. My god, he's crazy. Okay. So we have an economic opener with an aggressive follow-up. This is going to hit hard. This is going to be very unexpected as well. We'll see if Ukko can piece together what is going on, because this is crazy. This is actually crazy. I was afraid there was going to be a 4th rack, not going to lie. Here we go. So the power behind a 3 racks obviously is we have an abundance of Marines and Marauders, and usually we hit even without medevacs. But because of this factory, it looks like we probably will. It's a much more aggressive way to go into a 3cc build, I guess, as opposed to the 2-1-1. Before that happens though, Ukko, he is just droning up to 31. He has that hidden roach one, and he's going to be moving out. And I think he's going to have a lot of success. I think this roach push could end the game. The reason for that is it's a 3cc build, first and foremost, so it's very economic. The factory is delayed. We're going to have vanilla Marines. No stim, no combat shields, no tanks, no cyclones, no banshees. Vanilla Marines to defend against roaches. We need a bunker. Without a bunker, there is no way to hold this. Straight up, Ukko just powers on through, and he's just rushing across the map. He didn't scout anything. He didn't see anything. He doesn't know what he's up against. He doesn't know that he's about to win the game. It's crazy. And MaSa also has very limited scouting information. Doesn't have any Hellions because he didn't go for a 1-1-1, so he has no map presence. The Reaper didn't really get to scout too much at all either. And Ukko's just gonna show up and I mean, that's it. Like, MaSa can't fight. He just can't do this. He has to pull all the way back. The wall is a wall, so he's gonna try and buy some time. We have a Marauder on the way, but the wall has been broken. The boys have to be pulled against the roaches behind this. Ukko is just droning to his heart's content. And it looks like MaSa is going to be able to hold. Whew. Oh my god. That was a scary moment there. And I'm impressed. MaSa didn't lose as many workers as I thought he would. Like, that was really good crisis management. As we saw, MaSa couldn't fight this head on. He had to just give up his natural, go into his main. What's scary though is he just got scattered. Ukko is ahead in workers, ahead in bases. He saw the second racks. He knows about potentially a 2-1-1. Doesn't know about the 3 racks, but you know, he knows the potentiality anyway of a bio army. And we have a Baneling Nest on the way. Ukko is preparing himself. But again, very well handled by MaSa overall. I believe a lesser player would have just straight up died. They would have just died. So good crisis management from our Canadian Terran. Ooh. And back at home, Ukko, he's just teching to his heart's content. Double Evo Chamber, Lair, Baneling Nest, droning, doing it all. Now we do have to be careful not to be too greedy when it comes to the army. Ooh, there's only 14 lings. Ukko, I appreciate the greed, but we need an army. The Marines are about to reveal themselves. The Queens are being consolidated. The boys have to be evacuated. Ukko was not ready for this at all. He scouted the 2-on-1. Maybe he thought he killed more than enough lings. Sorry, more than enough Marines. But now that Sim is done, oh, this counterattack from MaSa, it is doing an insane amount of damage. Every Queen is going to go down. Ukko not respecting the opener, not respecting the build of MaSa. More Marines are rushing across the map. Ukko will be losing this third base. He does have a lot of lings on the way, and Banelings as well. I believe Ukko can hold his natural, but he lost so much already. Oh. Reinforcements are getting caught out, which is great. Liberator showing up as well, and MaSa, he is just not letting up in the aggression. He goes for the drop into the main base. But Ukko was able to cut off those reinforcements. And with that, Ukko should be able to hold on. This Liberator is going to be very annoying, though. No, the Queen! The Queen goes down. Ooh. And then MaSa, his attention was elsewhere. His push is going to be stopped. Ukko did save his drones. That's the important part. He was able to evacuate and save all of his workers, transfer over towards the 4th base. But any kind of advantage and any kind of lead that he once had isn't quite there anymore. Oh. And these Liberators, they're such a smart move from MaSa. He's going to be going for some harassment, going into the main. Potentially the natural. The Queen count was reset and it needs to be rebuilt. MaSa is still in this. And at least Ukko is keeping these drops busy, at least, but Liberators are showing up. We don't have any spores ready. Oh boy, and I don't think Ukko noticed. His attention is here on the front lines. Liberators do siege up. And this is a really frustrating position to deal with. Oh boy. Libs do siege. All the Queens are coming on over. We actually don't have enough energy for transfuse, so this is going to be a costly trade here for Ukko. 1 Queen goes down, 2 Queens go down. Yo, we could have kept going. We could have gotten like 4 Queens. MaSa is forced back. Meanwhile, on the front lines, Ukko still doesn't really have a standing army that can contest against everything that MaSa has, but he does trade outs. Oh, the Queens are all going to go down. Jesus. Only a single Queen survives. Oh, and MaSa has brought this all back. Again, Ukko just a couple too inefficient trades. Caught being a little bit too greedy. No mining in the main base, and this push could be it. We do see the Banelings getting some decent connections, though. Oh, Liberator finally goes down. We can focus on the main push. We do have enough link main to hold. Oof. But what about the reinforcements? Like, MaSa is not stopping whatsoever, and Ukko needs to try and rally his forces, bring everything together. He does have pathogen glands. He wants to get into infestors. And unfortunately, because of his lack of vision right now, he just doesn't have too much of a presence on the map. The 4th base. Oh god, it's gonna go down. 5th even. Yeah, he stims, he commits, and he gets it. Ukko knocked down to 4 bases. Oh, a little bit of mispathing as well. And with this 2-2 timing that MaSa is about to hit, it may be it. I say it may be it. We have an Infestor on the way. Fungals can save Ukko. Ukko's down 30 supply, but a good Fungal can make it. It can make or break. If he can get his Infestors out. Oh boy, we'll see. For the time being, Ukko is just being spread a little bit too thin. Oh, the hatchery once again being focused down. We do have the Infestor. We go for the Fungal. Decent Fungal. Ugh, but we still needed more than that. Ukko goes for a massive counterattack instead. He is going to be able to deal some counter damage, to be fair. A lot of SCVs is going to be going down. MaSa is pulling back. This is what Ukko needed. Not too many SCVs falling, but again, just forcing a reaction. Oh, MaSa doesn't turn around though. He knows that his reinforcements are more than enough. Ugh. Infestors have to be so careful here. Lings retreats. They're going to be able to at least like hinder some of the economy here of MaSa. We have another 4th base on the way. Ukko struggling to hold on. But because of all these Infestors, like any kind of like push that MaSa commits to, like I do think that that Ukko can kind of take it. There we go, another Fungal only on a handful of Marauders. Oof. But yeah, it is just a little bit too much here. The drop towards the top is being cleaned up, but the main push just keeps gaining more ground. He wants to get on top of these Infestors, almost gets one. We see a scan as well. MaSa just getting an eye on what the base count is looking like. Nice biles, but we have so many medevacs. We have so much on the ground. The final fight here for Ukko. He's going for a run by it, but the Planetary is going to be able to hold on anyway. And the Planetary cleans up all of those Lings, and the push is getting on top of those Spellcasters, the Ravagers, the Infestors, the Queens. It's going to be a little bit too much. And with that, GG gets called. MaSa, with the 3cc, 3 racks, takes game number 3 and has a lead in this series. Oh. Boy, let's go. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. MaSa versus Ukko, going the distance. Of course, MaSa is 1 game away from qualifying. Ukko needs to win this next map here to bring it to the ace match. Can he pull it off? Oh, I hope so. I hope so because I don't want a ZVZ for Rio or Eric. I don't want them to be stuck in ZVZs, Papi. Not like this. Not like this. Here we go. You can hear the beeps. The next game, oh, interesting. I wonder what the vetoes were. Game number 4 is going to be on altitude. Here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of altitude. We have the American Zerg player representing Apprentice Esports, currently down 1-2 in this series. It is Ukko. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Altitude, we have his opponent. We have the Canadian Terran player leading this series, one game away from qualifying for the ESL Masters Americas regional event. It is MaSa. Oh boy, here we go. MaSa won a game away. Honestly, he had a really rough start. Like Ukko's roach push, I was all aboard. I was all for it. Unfortunately, despite the fact that Ukko scouted the additional Raxes, he wasn't ready for the drop timing, and he should have been. He should have been able to piece it all together, and because he didn't, Ukko was punished for it. The double drop did so much damage. It reset the queen count. It killed like 6 queens. It killed the third base. Didn't get too many drones, but did trade well against the army. And ever since that moment, MaSa just reclaimed that lead and is ahead. But we have something a little bit different here. I don't know if you noticed, this is a gas pool hatch opener. Ukko once again is going to be very aggressive, and MaSa is pulling a Bjorn. If you've been tuning in to some of the, if you tune into ESL Open Cup Asia the past couple of weeks, and KSL as well, in every single TvZ, Bjorn is going for these 2 Rax openers as a part of the wall here at the natural. MaSa, taking a page from his book, is going to be doing something similar. Meanwhile, with the fast gas, we have Ling speed on the way. Ukko just looking to get some early game aggression, some early map control. The Lings are going to be scouted. The SCV confirms the pool first, or at least the earlier pool. Back at home, MaSa's getting ready. Is he going to throw down his factory as a part? Okay, interesting. So it's not quite the Bjorn variation. It's no Reaper either. His production is just as a part of the wall. He's just trying to be a little bit more aggressive here with the faster CC. And the Overlord does confirm this. And the wall should be able to finish up here. Lings are making their way across the map, but yeah, there we go. The bunker is, sorry, the depot is done. And Ukko doesn't have a way in. He has map control at least, but just map control. Behind this, Ukko is taking a third base. He's going to be droning on up. Still hasn't pulled back into gas. He doesn't need to. Just going to be getting into the game from here. If you recall, we were able to cast Ukko during the open qualifiers, and this is just how he typically opened up in ZVT. He is the kind of player that really likes early game control. Not going for an all-in necessarily, but going for fast roaches, going for fast link speed, just a way to assert himself and have some kind of say in the early game. As opposed to purely just being a defensive player, which is how most Zerg players react. Meanwhile, MaSa is pretty committed to this defense, throwing down a bunker as well, so he's a little bit paranoid about what Ukko is up to. Oh boy. Meanwhile, oh god. Not like this, Buffy, not like this. We do have a 1-1-1 follow-up, and that is a fusion core. That is the starport, and oh my, he's going 2-port BC! Oh no! That's not just a fusion core, that's a second starport. 2-port BC. Gumiho, is that you? Ay, ay, ay. MaSa is looking to smooge. Going for the Viking first. The Overlord is going to be denied. It does scout the tech lab on the starport. And a Viking into a tech lab? This is a tell. This is a sign of BCs. Now, Ukko, he knows about the BC opener. He doesn't know how many BCs, but he knows at least one. Wait, what? He knows at least one is on the way, so he's getting ready. Queens are on the way. We should be seeing spores. We should be seeing some, we have our lair on the way. We should be seeing a spire. Now, the question is, because it's a 2-port BC, 2 BCs are going to be going across the map. We're also going to have Hellions on the ground as well to support them. Like, this is, there's kind of layers to this build and to this opener, to this cheese. Ugh. This does also lead into mech, if you were wondering. Yes. Oh boy. Roach Warren is going to be thrown down. Have our 4th base on the way as well. No additional gases, so I wonder if Ukko has been able to piece this all together. I wonder if he was able to click on that tech lab in time. We have Yamato on the way. 3rd CC as well. Oh boy. That's all I can say. Spores on the way, but there we go. The first BC is rushing across the map. And again, this isn't a surprise for Ukko. He should have been expecting this. The Queens are going to rotate back over. They weren't in the main. They weren't quite in position. The Spore does finish in time, but drones are being focused down one after the other. Oof. A lot of drones are going down. The Queens are looking to try and keep up. They're going to be able to fend off the first BC, but again, there's going to be more where that came from. 2 more even. 3 more. Just more. The BC rotates over towards the third. The Queens have been split up, but now here we go. We have the second BC showing up. Now Ukko is aware about the 2 ports, and can he do anything about it? The answer is no. The Queens are falling left and right. This is too much damage, too much momentum. Yamato isn't done yet, but the Queen count, it's too low. There are only 3 Queens left. This may just be game. Right now, Ukko's doing his hardest to try and get that spy out. He's got 4 Queens in production at a time. But Yamato is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. And once it does, 2 more Queens are going to fall. 10 seconds away. And we're just going to keep snowballing. We're just going to keep sending BC after BC after BC. We have more factories on the way. We have the 3rd CC being landed. And there are the Yamatos. Again, the Spire just isn't ready in time for this. And Ukko, he's struggling to keep up with the mass BC. The Queens are coming in from multiple angles, but they cannot transfuse, Puppy. They can't transfuse. Ugh. I do appreciate that he's trying to drone as best he can. And hey, his drone count's looking pretty good. The drone count is looking good, but the natural hatchery is going to be focused down. Ugh. The Queens as well. The Spire has finished, but we just don't really have a lot of gas. 3 Corruptors are on the way. The natural died. The 4th is not too far behind. Ukko is stuck on 2 base economy right now. We have Yamatos. They're not quite ready yet, but the hatchery is getting really low. And we have reinforcing BCs. Ugh. Yeah, we're not just going to get the hatchery, we're going to get the Queens as well. Everything. Why not? We do have a bit of a link counterattack, but we have Hellions back at home to defend. And again, this just snowballed far too much, far too quickly. We teleport back home to defend against the Ling run by. Ukko, his drone count is good, but he's just not mining efficiently from his bases. He's trying to make as many Corruptors as possible, but the BCs are showing up once again with the Yamatos. And yeah, this is everyone. Welcome to 2-port BC. It's a bit of a smurge build. A little bit smurge. It's one of those builds that shows up, and you know it's gonna kill you, but you also know that you're gonna be like in a death animation for a long time. MaSa a little bit supply blocked here. He's gonna go toe-to-toe with the Corruptors. One of those BCs is getting pretty low. We force a teleport on top of the army. Oh god. And here we go. The Hellions are about to rock up as well. The entire army is arriving here for MaSa. And Ukko kills one. He kills one. He got it. 1 BC died. That's something. That is something. It's more than I could have hoped for. Oh, as the 3rd base is going to be falling down as well momentarily. GG gets called. Congratulations, MaSa will qualify for ESL Masters America. Oh, GG, well played. I can see the chat catching up. This is a smurge way for the series. It is, yeah. Again, the BCs, they just really snowball relatively slowly, but you can see the ball coming. You can't do anything about it. if you do react a little bit too late, right? Like, even though we had a lair, we didn't have additional gases, we didn't have a Spire ready in time. The Queens were caught in a really awkward position because they thought it was a singular BC. That's the other thing. Ukko believed that it was only going to be 1 BC, but it was 2 ports, and he wasn't able to confirm that. It is difficult to confirm that. GG gets called, and congratulations to MaSa.